Hello and welcome to another video. It's a Polestar 2.1 and I'm going to talk about my experience with the ordering delivery timeline. Lots of people seem to be interested in how long does it take, kind of what happens at different stages. So I thought I'd share my experiences to give you some indication for when you're ordering and waiting for your delivery. Okay, so first things to kind of get this going, obviously this ordering process is specific to me, but obviously it's going to be somewhat similar to you, but it's going to be based on what's happening in the world, economic climate, the number of cars available in your region, all this kind of thing. So this is specific to me here in the UK and kind of how things kind of went for me, and I'm going to show some of this on the screen, so hopefully it makes it a little bit easier to follow through. I'm recording this Monday the 4th of January in the evening, and my car is due on the 6th in the afternoon, assuming that things still go ahead, because obviously Boris Johnson here in the UK just announced that we're having the full lockdown. So I think the car will still be delivered, but keep that in mind for the end, but again, that's outside of Polestar's control if there's a reason they can't deliver it. So this is my timeline, and at the end, just a quick couple of things that you can think about in terms of delivery checklist based on stuff I've seen on the Facebook groups and on videos and stuff, some of the issues that people have been having and things that I'll be looking for hopefully when my delivery comes on Wednesday. So I bring these things up on the slide as we go through them, so it makes it easier for you to track the timeline. So here we go. So for me, my UK order to delivery timeline. So I placed my order on the 27th of September 2020. I had a Tesla Model S prior to this that I sold, and then once it was sold and I had the funds available, I placed my order. I didn't want to not have funds and the stress of trying to sell the car, so I have had no car since the middle of September, and I've been kind of sharing my wife's Nissan Leaf. So yes, so the order was placed on the 27th of September. On the 28th, so about 24 hours later, I had the order confirmation from Polestar that my order and spec had been sent to the factory. And obviously at this time, I've also paid the £1,000 deposit. Then on the 16th of October, I was able to see in the Polestar website that I had a VIN number assigned. I guess the other thing I should mention, I'm buying this car outright, so I'm not leasing or anything. Obviously, if you're leasing, information that you have available to you, whether you have a Polestar ID to log into the web page, may change a little bit and alter some of this information you have available, as well as timelines. On some of the forums, it does look like if you're leasing, things are taking longer based on the leasing agreement between that lease company and Polestar. So yeah, 16th of October, I have my VIN number. That's a good sign. That means that the car has been built on the production line, a VIN number has been assigned to the vehicle, and it's kind of going through the finishing phases in China to be kind of shipped over. Then on the 29th of October, I had the sales contract come through. So that's basically to tell me that I need to sign that I definitely want this car in this spec, and the basically the option to easily jump out is removed. And not long after that, it was probably about a week or so, I think, I had my £1,000 refunded to me. So I was semi-surprised by this. I thought that the £1,000 deposit would just get knocked off the final price, but it doesn't. It gets refunded back to you, and then the total bill will be payable, I think it's 6 business days before your car is due to be delivered. So after the sales contract was signed at the end of October, like I said, it was the 8th of November that the deposit came back to me. So about a week later, the funds were actually available in my account again. Then on the 8th of December, I had an email to say that my delivery date could be selected. So I think I had the 6th of January in the afternoon, the 7th of January in the morning or the afternoon, and the 8th of January in the morning or afternoon. So because I'm impatient, I just wanted it as soon as possible. So I put the 6th of January in the afternoon, knowing that delivery may be in the dark, so not easy for me to fully inspect everything, but I can, check it out in the next morning. You've got a couple of weeks to kind of fully check everything out and come back to Polestar with any issues. So that's when I selected my stuff on the 8th of December. Then on the 12th of December, I noticed that I'd been assigned a registration number in my account. So now I have the VIN number and the registration number and the delivery date. Then I had the confirmation that I have to have paid and have the funds cleared by the 30th of December to enable my car to be delivered on the 6th of January. So that's the full payment for the whole car has to be paid to to Polestar. And I guess one thing that you need to check there, obviously, depending on your spec, this is going to be high £40,000 or mid 50s, depending on what spec you've gone for, and you probably can't pay that by bank transfer in one go from your bank. So you want to make sure that if you're making these payments, you want to kind of drip feed it in over time beforehand. So me personally, I transferred £50, I don't know, maybe a month, maybe a bit longer before the payment was due, just to make sure I had the account number set up okay and my order number as a reference to make sure that money appeared in Polestar. I didn't want to have some last minute drama. So I saw that £50 go in. Then I think I paid another £5,000 a few weeks later. And as we got close to the deadline, I then made some various £10,000 transfers. Sometimes the money showed in my Polestar account within a day. Other times it took multiple days, almost a week sometimes, for that money to show up. But it was all confirmed to be there by the 30th, so that was all good. Then also on the 30th of December, once all the money, I guess, was confirmed to be cleared, I had an email that's basically a checklist from Polestar to say, make sure that you've got your Polestar ID ready, make sure you've got your Google ID ready so you can log in to Android Auto, make sure that you've got car insurance sorted out, all this kind of stuff, just a basic checklist of things they want you to have in place before the car arrives. Then I had confirmation this morning, so on the 4th of January, confirming that my delivery will be happening on the 6th of January and the afternoon. And then, fingers crossed, the car is going to arrive in the afternoon on the 6th, and I will be doing a car arrival and delivery video, which hopefully I'll be uploading later this week, assuming all goes to plan. It'll either be in the dark or a little bit light, and then a little bit of a follow-up in the morning as I go through some of this checklist that I'm going to mention to you in a moment. But that's kind of the order timeline that I went through from first ordering on the 27th of September through to hopefully having the delivery on the 6th of January. I think things were a little bit delayed because of the Christmas period. I was hoping that I would have got it before Christmas. It was in the country then, but I think they're just a bit snowed under, trying to get all cars out. So it had a little bit of impact. So I had to be a bit more patient and wait for the 6th. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to pop up on the screen and go through, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, is some things that I'm going to be checking when the car has been delivered in those first few days to make sure that everything is as to be expected. Some of this stuff is just general kind of basic stuff. All cars need certain things checking for snagging when you get it. There are some known kind of bugs with the Polestar 2 that hopefully all of them have been ironed out. I've got a later series VIN number, so they've told me that I didn't need any recalls or anything that's happened, but still some basic stuff that seems to be quite consistent that's worth checking. And I thought I'd just make you aware of it in this video in case you're placing an order or you've placed an order and you're waiting for delivery. By no means are any of these things that put me off or anything. They're just things to be aware of so you can make more informed handover checks. So things to check on delivery day. So you want to make sure that your car has the charging cables in there. You should at least have one type 2 to type 2 charging cable. This is the sort of thing that you're going to use an untethered charging station. Maybe you have an untethered charging point at home, or maybe think about having one installed there, or something you might use when you're out about. Some of the pod points are untethered that you may kind of want to plug into. I'll go into charging cables in another video once I've got the car to go into a bit more detail on that for you. And here in the UK, you should also have a domestic 3-pin plug to Type 2 charger that you can use to charge at home very slowly at around 2.4 kilowatts, but enough to give you some domestic charging at home, or if out staying at a relative's or on holiday or something. My car is spec'd with a tow hitch, so I need to make sure that also the cables for the tow hitch are also included. So when towing a trailer or caravan or what have you, you have the ability to obviously hook the tow hook up to make sure that the lights on the back of the train and all that kind of stuff works as well. Also want to make sure that, again, if you spec the tow hitch, that it's working as it's supposed to. So in the boot, I think it's on the left hand side, there should be a button that you press, and that semi-automatic tow hook should drop down, and then you can lift it up and click into place, and then press it again and it should release and go up out of the way. I am going to do a separate video on the tow hook as well, because there's a couple of things I potentially want to address with that as well. You should also have a plug surfing card. That's not super handy here in the UK, but still something to be expected. Polestar have partnered with the plug surfing people, so that's probably going to be on the seat or in the glove box or something, so you want to make sure you have that as well. Another couple of things that people have noticed: on the main center console, the charging is set by default to 6 amps. So when you plug that in, it may restrict your charging speed. Most likely if you're charging at home. When you're charging at rapid and fast chargers out and about, it probably should be overridden automatically to give you a faster charge. But if you're charging at home, you will want to increase that to the relative amount based on what your charger can handle. So here at home, I have a MyEnergy Zappy, and that can charge at 32 amps. So I will just make sure that I can increase that up to 32 amps. Couple of things that seems to have been a gap right from the beginning, and there's some umming and ahhing as to whether this should be included, shouldn't be included, or what have you. And some people say that there's no point moaning about the fact you don't have it. To me, I think the car should have these things. The press material and everything has this in there, so I'm expecting it to be in my car, and that is the jack and the foam insert in the front. The jack should sit in, along with the tyre wrench. Those things should be there. If in an emergency I need to jack my vehicle up at the side of the road for whatever reason, I should have the ability to do that. Also, when I come to sell the car, someone else may be expecting that to be there, so I'm going to ask for that if it isn't there. Also, there has been some reports of excessive movement in the rear windows. That has been addressed a little bit in a software update where the motors are holding the windows a bit firmer, so I will be checking that as well. Also, there should be a first aid kit in the car. I think that's a legal requirement, but apparently that, along with the jack and stuff, has been a common oversight, so I want to check that that's there as well. A quick check on the Android automotive system to see if it has had the most recent updates. At the time of doing this video, I think the 1st of November is the most recent update. To be clear, this is of the Android automotive system, not of the software of the car itself. One of the easy things that you can do to check that is obviously check that the version says 1st of November, but also make sure that you have preheating available on the Android app. We'll give an indication of that. Again, we'll cover some of this in the video when the car arrives. A couple of basic stuff. If the tyres are inflated right, make sure they're put on in the right orientation. Just common stuff that you would do with any car. And then finally, obviously, if you've ordered any extras, make sure that they're in the car. So you have the option to order extra charging cables, snowshoes, mats, etc. I ordered the rubber mats for inside the car and the boot, so I'll be checking that they are there on delivery day as well. So I'm sure there's some other things. If you've stumbled across them or you found them, please feel free to leave information in the comments as well. These are the things that I'm aware of from following the Polestar stuff from back in September, before both making my purchase and making the purchase. So I thought it'd be helpful to share that with you. So yes, I'm excited for Wednesday and hope that I get to share a video with you in the future of my midnight Polestar 2 with the performance pack and the tow hitch, and hopefully with car mats and a boot liner. So we shall see. Hope this video helped. Thanks for watching this video. A thumbs up would be really appreciated. If you're interested in other geek type videos, please consider subscribing to Spectrum Geeks. Why not also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And before you leave, why don't you check out one of these other videos that may be of interest. Thanks again for watching.